So we just talked about in the first part of the lesson what a complex number is. So a complex number is in the form a plus bi. Remember, a is the real part, so the real number, and then the bi is the imaginary part. So now we're going to take a look at what is a complex conjugate. So that was a complex number, a plus bi. A complex conjugate is a minus bi. Now, it doesn't mean that b is always positive here and always negative here. What it's trying to show you is that if we're given this one form, there's a sign change. It's the opposite sign. So I'm just going to put sign change. Let's see what that looks like. Starting with part A. So the first thing I'm actually going to have to do here is rewrite it as a plus bi. If you take a look at this, the imaginary unit is out front and the real number comes second, and that's not what it's supposed to look like. A is the real part. So A in this case is the negative 15. Okay, so negative 15 should come first. I'm keeping that sign with it. B is a positive 2i. So I would have to put plus 2i. For the second step, I'm going to find the conjugate. Remember, all this means is that there's a sign change. So if a complex number is negative 15 plus 2i, the complex conjugate would be negative 15 minus 2i. And that's your answer. Okay? Part B, first thing I'm going to do is rewrite it in terms of a plus bi. So all I see is an imaginary number here. I don't really see a real number. So if there's no real number, you could just write in a 0. So 0, and then I have a negative 4i, so 0 minus 4i, meaning that the complex conjugate is 0 plus 4i. I want to simplify this all the way though, so I can actually rewrite this as a positive 4i. I put that placeholder of 0 there so that way I wouldn't mess up the sign or the form. Part C, if I look at this number, this complex number, it is already in its standard form. 9 is a real number and a negative 1i is the imaginary number. So step 1's already done for us. All I have to do is step 2, which is to write its conjugate, which is 9 plus I. Part D, I want you to go ahead and try this one, so go ahead and pause it. All right, so the first step was for you to rewrite it in its standard form. So square root of 3 is a real number, okay? It has an actual numerical value. If I plug it into my calculator, I'll get something. So square root of 3. See, it has an actual numerical value. It's real. So square root of 3 should have come first, and it is positive. And then the I would come second, and this is a positive I, so I would put plus I. So then the second step is to write its conjugate. Remember, that's just putting a sign change. So instead of plus, I'm going to do a minus. Root 3 minus I is the answer.